Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Friday, the 21st of February, 2014. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal 11. Rich remains on vacation for the week up in the snow somewhere in the area of Vermont, so I'm filling in for him. Let's take a look at what we saw on Thursday and talk about the week so far and what we can expect potentially for Friday. The only data we have coming out Friday is existing home sales 30 minutes into the market. Here's a look at the S&P 500 daily chart, which had dropped on Wednesday. We talked about the fact that that was probably options unraveling, where the bigger players close out options positions ahead of the expiration. It's a common item that you see the week of options expiration. And look, if I hit the projection mode now, we had talked yesterday about how any positive close today would give us our ninth bar. That's the setup phase completing, or the startup phase as we're calling it now, completing. There it is. That's the sound. Ninth bar up on the S&P 500 index. So that's a pause point, obviously. A lot of times market pauses there. You can see the last time we were up here, we had a ninth bar, and that was the top for a while. So we'll see how that plays out. But we did get a bounce after a pretty ugly action on Wednesday. When we look at the intraday action in a few minutes, I'll show you, maybe it'll make a little more sense as to why we did what we did. Same thing here then on the NASDAQ 100 index. There's the 9-bar setup phase complete. So both sides have exactly the same day completed a 9-bar setup phase. Here's a look at the stocks index, also completed a 9-bar. I won't make the sound for you, but you can see it's obvious. And also the biotech index can be, look at this. Ready for this? I'll make this sound for you. Would have been a 13 seeker sell signal, gets recycled by the new 9-bar setup, but either way, they're both right there. That's a powerful signal. So all these major industries have got topping signals on, at least in the short term. Would that mean we roll over tomorrow hard? Of course not, because tomorrow is options unraveling, or options expiration. So probably not going to do much at all on Friday. Let's look at some of our key stocks. Apple down a bit today. Google pretty flat. Tesla was obviously up, positive earnings there, and gapped up, came back a bit, but new high close on Tesla after selling off the day before. Netflix pretty flat, and the focal point here is it has to be one of the flattest days, because I can't remember a time. None of our Forex calls triggered overnight. Our futures calls didn't trigger, and I never really saw a futures setup worth jumping in on with the levels the way they were. The market didn't really respect any of the key support and resistance points. It just drifted back and forth through them. NASDAQ volume was 1.7 billion shares. That's better than Wednesday's 1.6, but not anywhere near what we've been seeing, as I showed you in yesterday's YouTube video. I can do that again here real quick. Let's take a look at the volume numbers for the NASDAQ. Again, a lot of days have been over 2 billion shares since we started the year, but now we dipped under for a couple of days in a row. And so it's just been a really slow week. It's a short week. You got a lot of weather back east. You still got the Olympics going on. So hopefully things can get back to a little more normal activity next week. But that does not bode well for Friday, which is actually options expiration and almost always very slow. So let's take a look at the intraday action this week on the S&P. This is 10-minute bars on the ES futures. Now what I wanted to show you is here's Friday's close back over here. Yeah, this is what they call, they turn the market on essentially for an hour. There's no volume at all on Monday for the holiday. Okay, so this is Friday's close. So Tuesday we gap up. Look how poor this action was Tuesday. Just fill the gap back up and then just dead flat in the 3-point range the rest of the day. Wednesday we knew we could get the options unraveling move. We gapped down. We springboarded for a reciprocal upside move. Topped out right there, and then we did get our options unraveling move. And that's the key to remember about this downside move is it's not so much that the market, if it looks bad on the daily chart that the market's rolling over here, really what you're getting is just an options unraveling move. It's a specific thing that happens, and once it's done, it's done. So it doesn't mean you're going to get any downside follow through. And then you look at what we got today, and I thought today was one of the poorest trading days I've seen in a long time. We barely had any stocks trigger. Nothing went far. We did, if you look at the range of the market, it looks better than what the actual trading did because none of the stocks were moving. There were no patterns. There was nothing. It felt like all the key technical players were gone. And that's what happens once options unraveling is over until expiration on Friday, is we get this little gap up, we pull back, and then we did climb higher. But by noon Eastern time, that was it, and we were dead flat. And what I want to point out most of all is that we are exactly where we closed on Friday. So for the 3 days of the week here, net nothing. Now, if we take a look on the NASDAQ side, with the NASDAQ futures, these are the NQs. Yeah, we're up about 7 points, okay, for the week. And it looks a little bit better there. Look at the 13 sell signal up top here. Okay, the risk line for that would have contained the market. And then the 13 buy signal down here is the low on the 10 minutes. So technical action there, but that's about it. So I'm not expecting much tomorrow. It is what it is. We get back to probably more normal trading next Monday after options have expired. Rich will be back on Monday, and hopefully the market will be moving. That's it. We'll be in the lab helping you out if you want to come by and help you make some money. Have a great weekend, and we'll put all of our reports up as usual over the weekend to get you ready for next week. Thanks for stopping by.